rules have been pretty simple. I wouldn't do binary pay plans, and I would not do product. And that's just pure and simple. 47 years, I've never broken that rule. Now, does that mean there are not good product companies out there? Absolutely, they are. There's product companies out there that provide very good products. You know, they're good for your health. I mean, you can't argue with the antioxidants and acai berries and all these things. But there's a whole army of them. And there's all kinds of claims. You know, if you take this 3 times a day, it'll shrink your hemorrhoids, turn your ingrown toenails out, clear up your cataracts, cure cancer. And that's the problem. I can't represent something to people that I don't know to be true. And I can't, just because some doctor from Helsinki did some research on this thing, and it's an extract that's pulled out of a mushroom that's very rare, that only grows in a cave in Transylvania in 700-year-old bat dung. And I can't, you know, I can't represent that. And so therefore I did not. But there's some very good companies. The mother of all network marketing is Amway. And if any of you were involved in Amway, you were involved in a very good company. And they do very good products. It's a good company. So what I'm trying to get to here is we are not the only show in town. We are not the only good business, home-based business income opportunity. We are not. There are some really good ones. But the network marketing world is like the Clint Eastwood movie, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. There is the good, there's the bad, and there's the ugly. The problem is there's a very few good ones, a lot of bad ones, and an army of ugly ones. And the ugly ones seem to keep recycling themselves every year or two. Now, with that said, why should you be involved with this one? Well, you should be involved with this one because I am. And therefore, you can cash in on my 47 years of experience, my 47 years of research. Why did I choose Send Out Cards? I was actually VP, Executive Senior Vice President of Marketing for another company, when I got this phone call from a fellow called Cody Bateman from Utah. And he says, your name's been given to us to somebody who can help us get our marketing and comp plan straight. We talked a little while, and he wanted me to fly to Utah. I could not. I was too busy. I said, you come here. I was living in South Carolina at that time. If y'all hadn't figured that out, I'm from the South. And so I go and meet these two guys, and it was Dave Smith and Cody Bateman. You guys stayed there 3 days. And we went over the program. I basically told him that his dog wouldn't hunt. It's not going to work. And I understand he had to spend a lot of money on it at that time, and I could see the devastation in his face. You remember that look? Oh, yeah. And he says, we can't revise it. You got to scrap it and start all over. But here's what I was uniquely impressed with. Here was a product that I could see whose time has come. If I told you 8 years ago, and we were talking, that this little startup company called Netflix was going to topple a multi-billion-dollar industry giant. What's the name of that company? Blockbuster. If I told you that, you would have laughed at me, wouldn't you? See, there's a paradigm shift in an industry. And folks, we're living in the most exciting times ever. And the world is now making a transition to home-based businesses. Believe that or not, and that's a global event. And because of the explosion and emergence of new technologies, new opportunities exist. And that's whenever a major shift comes, a new technology comes into an industry, it creates a paradigm shift. Those people who see that, those visionaries who can see that and position themselves in front of that, can amass extreme wealth. The people who ride on the tail of the people who see that become independently free financially. Now that's happened more in the last 15 years than it's happened in the previous history of mankind on this globe. It is happening right now again. And I saw this in 2004 when this fellow Cody Bateman told me what he was doing. And he was doing something that I had been doing in my marketing company manually for a number of years, and that is I had people hired full-time, and I bought cards and had them custom made, corporate logo, gold embossed, my picture inside, just like Inside Bob, and had them handwriting and sending cards out. We had a 3x5 tickler file system, and if they became one of my clients, I put a card in there with his name, address, and birthday. And I would put one in for Lori. And I'd put one in for their anniversary. And I would put one in for each child that lived at home, and those cards went in 10 days prior to that event. And when the two girls came in each morning, they would pull out the cards for that day, and the 3x5 cards, and reach in. If it was birthday, they would get the custom-made birthday card and handwrite, "Happy birthday from Jimmy," or "Happy anniversary." And we sent out thousands of cards. And the cards in 1985, I'll never forget the first block of cards that I bought in 1985, in lots of 10,000, those cards, custom made, cost me $1.97 a piece. And I bought 10,000 at the time. That's 10,000 birthday cards, 10,000 anniversary cards, 10,000 sympathy cards. Y'all get the picture? That's 10, that's 20, 40, that's $60,000 worth of cards. And then I had a postal meter that we stuck them through. We couldn't stick stamps on them, even though I wanted to, so we metered them, so they weren't even that personal. And we wrote the cards. Why did I do that? Because I am a psychologist professionally. And I know that we all have one common denominator. And that is a need to be appreciated, a need to be respected, a need to be celebrated. You say you don't, but you do. John Donne said, "No man is an island." We all are gregarious social creatures, and we need the affirmations and acceptance of those that are in our world. And nothing does that better. Nothing acknowledges your value better than a heartfelt greeting card in the mail. So when I sent my customer a card and thanked them for my business, that touched them. They just were not a customer. And then on their birthday, when they got a birthday card, that impressed them. But when they were planning their 6-year-old's birthday, and the 6-year-old got a birthday card, I became part of their family. And when they had friends who needed the products that I serviced, they said, "You need to call Jimmy." And I became the largest producing agency for 2 companies in the same year. Because I celebrated life with my clients. So when I saw SendDoc cards, I didn't have to be sold on the value of the product. I knew, but I was blown away when I saw that this guy was doing automatically for pennies on the dollar what I had been doing manually for 15 years. And so I immediately joined SendDoc cards, even though I was VP of marketing for another company. Are you beginning to agree with me? You probably should be in because I'm in. So if you've been looking, this is probably a good reason you lock it into a lot of experience. Now, there's something special and unique. There are lots of pill, potion, and lotion companies out there. There's lots of energy companies and drink companies and power. There is nobody does what we do. We are unique in the marketplace. We're not going to go away. Emerging technologies are not going to make our product obsolete, as it has 3 companies that I've been involved with. I'm a multi-million-dollar earner in this industry. My last company, I made over $8 million in 6 years. But technology made that company's product obsolete.